Okay, this is Content Mastery Chapter 13? I believe it's 13. That's me. I should have grabbed my notes before I clicked record, but it's fine. Let me just get to 13. So the first one is, what is the concept of price? So the definition, it's really dark in here. This light kind of sucks. I can barely read this. The definition of price is the amount of funds required to purchase a product. So like, a price is a price, like how much something costs. Like the price of a phone, the price of an apple. Everything on the market has a price. Sorry. Bubbler. There's 3 factors that must be thought out when you are thinking of what to price your product at, and that is cost, potential demand, and competition. So I think major influences. Okay, yeah, I think these are the influences. Are these the influences? Yes, they are. So cost is basically, every product costs something to make it. So, the materials you need, like whether it's computer, like the screen, the metal, like I'm pretty sure my laptop is made of like titanium. So the titanium used in this laptop, the keyboard, the screen, the motherboard, all of that costs something to either make or buy to make this laptop. What we talked about in class is, we've talked about it multiple times, but Beats headphones. I don't remember how much they may cost like $80 to make. I'm gonna just guess they cost $80 today, but there's markup. Say, I don't know what the percentage would be of the markup to get it to 500, but that percentage is how much they mark it up to get a profit. But in cases like Beats headphones, it can be very aggressive markup because companies want to make money, but especially high brand names like Apple, like Beats, Samsung, etc. They want their brand. So we talked about the fact that you could take the Beats logo off a pair of those headphones and you can buy them for $70-$80. There's yelling and I don't know why. So costs to make the product is probably very high because that's when you kind of skipping ahead a little bit. It's when you step into the break-even situation, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then where if like profit, gross profit, or if you didn't make a profit, if you broke even, things like that, that's what you need to think about when it comes to costs. And then potential demand, in cases like Red Bull just came out with a new flavor, the winter edition. Actually very good. If you are a Red Bull connoisseur, try it. It's very good. But they are every year, every summer, every winter. I don't know if they come out with a spring one, but basically every season they come out with a new edition that is supposed to be the drink of this season. People are gonna automatically gravitate towards it, try it, give their opinions. So they have to price it in a way that's gonna make it obtainable for customers, but still be where they can make a profit. So I think, I'm not a big Red Bull drinker. I make a lot of drinks with Red Bull at work, but I'm not a big Red Bull drinker. So, I think the special edition Red Bulls cost $4, which when you think about it is crazy. Like a 4-pack of special edition winter Red Bulls is $25, I think, like around $20-$25, which is insane because that's 4 drinks. compared to something like this, which kind of leads into the competition side of it, these, for a 6-pack of these, it is $6. It's about $1 a can. And then at Essential Fuels, you can also buy bubblers, which I'm kind of glad I'm drinking one because it gives me something to talk about. At Essential Fuels, it's $1.99 flat. I don't know, they don't have, what I realized is at Essential Fuels, this is off topic, they don't have tax. Like, it's labeled $1.99. When they scan it, you would think it would have tax, unless I'm just dumb and I don't know how tax works. But I thought if it's prepackaged, please answer this in the comments. It could be wrong. Also, if you hear grunting, he's making a mess of my bed. I have a dog. Please answer this in the comments. I thought if it was prepackaged, it had to be taxed. That is so off topic. Back to competitors. But with these, you would think they would be more expensive than Red Bull. Because, I just had a Red Bull can in here because my friend was drinking one. I should have kept it so I could compare sugar content. But this, if you look on the nutrition label on the back, total sugars, 0%. So there is 0 sugar in this. These are advertised as 0 sugar drinks, energy drinks, sparkling water energy drinks. But Red Bull, they're marketed as the energy drink. Like, everyone drinks Red Bull. I'm the very few who prefer bubblers, but I could just be weird. But you would think something that is 0 sugar would be more costly, because in this day and age, everybody is watching what they eat and watching what they drink and sugar consumption and things like that. So you would think they would price it like that. But I think because with the competitors, this is where competitors and potential demand go hand in hand with pricing, because everybody loves and waits every year for the new winter edition, new summer edition Red Bull to come out. But not a lot of people will talk about bubblers. Like, I don't think there's a lot of people who enjoy them. Because, like we've talked about in class, sparkling water is not popular. Because to some people, it tastes like air. And it has that weird burny aftertaste. But this is a situation where price and competitors can go, well, not price, but potential demand and competitors can go hand in hand, because in the case of Red Bull versus bubbler, you would think that Red Bull is one of the higher priced energy drinks on the market compared to what I know. I don't know how much the average Monster or Ghost or Alani, Celsius, the amount of the energy drinks I could list off. I don't know their pricing, but all of them are very high. But I think Red Bull might be the highest, because nobody, besides Celsius, because Celsius has become very popular in the last couple of years, but Red Bull has been the energy drink. So I just went off on a little bit of a tangent, and I apologize, but I feel like I made my point that they can go hand in hand. I don't know how much it costs to make a Red Bull and how much it costs to make a bubbler. I could Google it, but I don't want to. I'm just gonna continue. Okay. Organizations typically have set objectives. Discuss the 3 primary pricing objectives. Pricing objective. Okay, so they are volume or sales, competition again, and prestige. So with volume or sales, pricing practices aimed at achieving a particular sales volume or market share. So back again with the Red Bull versus bubblers, they want people to be able to buy bubblers in large quantities. People like me who buy 2 6-packs, so 12 in total, and that lasts me about a week and a half if I drink 1 to 2 a day, like 1 a day-ish. And then Red Bull would be more of a prestige because it is so much more expensive than other competitors. So you want to reach a certain amount of sales each time you market a product, because you have to have an objective that you want to reach, or else what are you marketing for? Like, why are you selling a product when you can't reach these goals, or you don't have goals set in place for yourself? Like, it's very hard to realize what you need for a product. So volume in sales is how much like you are believed to sell with your price given, and that based on that you can adjust your price. Like, if you're selling hundreds of thousands of your product, maybe you can up the price. But if maybe you aren't selling as much as you planned, you can lower the price to make it seem more applicable towards certain groups of people. Also, all going back to the 4Ps: marketing mix and target market, you have to think about your target market and their average income level is one of the categories for target market, and you have to think about that. So it all, as we go on in learning, because I've always been very interested in marketing and why companies do what they do, and like the marketing behind my favorite products and things like that. So now that we're sitting down and learning about it, it's actually quite interesting to seeing how everything ties in together. My friend called me. I'm gonna have to put these together. How marketing and all that ties together. My friend called me, so if it's a little, I apologize. Hold on, let me text her back really fast. Pause. Okay. Okay, so volume, sales, competition. Do you want to be higher priced than your competition, or do you want to be lower priced? It all depends on what kind of market you're selling to. If you're a prestige brand, which we'll get into, are you going to be like Gucci, or are you going to be like the Prada? I know nothing about designer brands, so that reference could make zero sense. But are you Gucci or are you Prada? They could be similar in prices. I could be completely wrong. So you need to figure out, are you going to be higher or are you going to be lower priced? Or are you going to put yourself somewhere in the middle and you're going to be like the one that, you're not too expensive, you're not too cheap, so you're not up to be low quality. So this, that, and the other. You can be like right in the middle. And then prestige. You with prestige products like Apple, like Gucci, like Prada, like Louis Vuitton, even Google has become very prestige. You are thought of, like, when somebody says Gucci, you're like, oh my god, like, you have Gucci, like, you must make tons of money and you must work very hard, and or someone bought it for you and you're very lucky. And there's an image that customers get when they buy prestige products. Like, it's an image, and your price gives you an image of, are you good quality if you're higher priced, or maybe if you're like $2,000 for a bag, maybe, which seems, but in the prestige world, that's cheap. Are you lower quality? Are you not real leather? Like, things like that. So it's all, your price gives you an image, whether that's a very high class image or a very lower class, average Joe pricing. And then we get to break even. So we had to do this. Last year, for my marketing and management class, we did something called Deaver Dollar Days. And Deaver Dollar Days is where we made a product, we marketed it, we created advertisement, and then we sold it to our school. And we had to calculate break even and gross profit, total costs, all of that stuff that has to be calculated. So I know a little bit about break even. I'm a little rough around the edges with it. But in units. So with units, you have to, think of cost per unit, and then how many units do you have to sell to make your cost per unit and your total costs per unit. Stick with me, I'm getting there. Not total cost per unit, but total cost of all the units you've made. And then how many units you need to sell to make your cost and your profit, or your cost and your total units sold amount equal. So they break even. Hence break even. So here, we wrote out, what is the word I'm looking for? Wrote out. God, I cannot talk. Total fixed costs divided by price minus variable cost. I had to remember what I wrote. Price minus variable cost. So it's TFC divided by parentheses P minus VC. So say your fixed cost is 100,000 and your price is 10 and your variable cost is 5. You would subtract 10 minus 5 to get 5, and then you would divide 100,000 divided by 5 to say that you need to officially sell 20,000 units to break even. Does that make sense? That's what I wrote, and that's what I'm going off of. Hoping that makes sense. So basically, when at the break-even point, your profits are 0. Just meaning that you have made enough money to cover the costs of the process to make your product. And eventually, you want to be able to make a profit. But first, to know if your company is successful, you need to hit a flat 0. That your costs and your total revenue are 0. They cancel each other out. So say it took $100,000 to make your products, all your products, every single one of them. In total, it makes, and all your costs like labor, machinery, like goods you need to make your product, things like that. Add those all up, and if it say it equals 100,000, you need to sell $100,000 worth of units to break even. They need to cancel out. But if you can't cancel out, stop while you're ahead. Because if you can't break even, then you're not going to make any money. You're going to be in debt. It is not going to be good. So, that is what I get from break even.